Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is a video I wanted to make for a long time. I just haven't really known how, when or why. As the channel's grown, I feel like now's the right time. So let's talk about flying, let's talk about my life and me, let's talk about the good, the bad and the ugly. As you know, primarily this channel is all about gliding. So let's just roll the clocks back a bit and let's talk about where I've come from. So I'm going to try and make this video as interesting as possible. It's not just me sat in a car. We'll have some throwbacks, but it will mainly be a talking head video. So I started flying when I was 13 at Essex and Suffolk Gliding Club. Wormingford Airfield. They're actually losing their site in 2026, so if you happen to be a farmer in East Anglia, Essex or Suffolk, you want a gliding club on site, drop me a message and we'll have a conversation. Just after I went solo, I was lucky enough to buy a K6CR for the grand sum of £300. Thankfully Paul Rice, who was a member at the airfield, helped me get it in the air, and I absolutely loved it for a year, then passed it on. The reality is I made a bit of money out of it and then bought an ASW 15 219. That glider was fantastic. I did everything in it. I accidentally did gold height, went up to Sutton Bank in Yorkshire, fell into some wave, and when I say fell, I mean I sat in 40 knots going into wind for a long time. So at this point in life, I had fulfilled a lifelong dream of joining the military and owning my own aircraft. I was really lucky. I was posted to an Apache helicopter squadron based in Suffolk, which is epic because we got to do things like this. And this. Oh yeah, and this. I was also really lucky because the gliding side was going great. I actually managed to bag a place on the British Junior Development Team, which meant that we went out training in Issoudun in France every year, which was insane. I knew that my best chance of getting on the British gliding team at that time was flying standard class. So I actually found an LS8 that came up for sale after the Junior World Championships. That was in Denmark or Sweden, I really can't remember where. We agreed a price, and then I found out I was moving abroad. I actually forgot a conversation that happened a few months beforehand. Effectively asked me if I wanted to move to the jungle of Brunei in Southeast Asia. I thought it was pretty unlikely to happen, so just said yes to it. Lo and behold, as soon as the LS8's lined up and we're ready to exchange money, boom, you're going to Brunei, which was cool. Over there we were working with the Bell 212 helicopter, did some amazing things with some awesome people over there. It really was fantastic. Again, we did things like this. This and this. So, having spent a little while out there, it was time to come home. Came back from Brunei, bought a labelle. You may have seen that video. Then I was away in North Wales at my favourite gliding club, Denbigh, and whilst I was up there, my dad fell ill. We thought it was something of nothing. We thought it was just a headache. On the second to last night, I got a phone call from my mum saying, you need to come home. Your dad's got a brain tumour. And it was single-handedly the worst moment of my life. So, having driven home, we had a conversation with doctors because he was in hospital, and we found out it was a terminal brain tumour. Yeah, was like getting kicked in the face, really. We found out he had 12 to 14 months to live. He had a big operation to try and prolong this, and he made it 11. Yeah, I still can't talk about it without it kicking me in the gut. And to make this worse, I have really bad anxiety, and this is not a Gen Z self-diagnosis. This was I'm spending a couple of days feeling sick on the bathroom floor, can't get out of bed, you know, the world is closing in around me for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I always thought, it's not going to hit me, and it got me. After he passed away, my world was blown to bits. I was leaving the military, I had no job, yeah, I was done for. So after this, I did what I know how to do best. I completely blagged it. I went around all the local airfields and basically said, have you got any jobs? I will do anything. I ended up working for a vintage aircraft company. I was lucky enough to do some flying in one of their Cessnas. But the reality is the guy that was running it was a dick. And I didn't realise how much of a dick he was at the time. But in hindsight, one of the biggest knobs I've ever met in my life. Then an opportunity arose to start an aviation supply business called Southern Aero Supplies. A lot of you may have heard of it. If you haven't, check out the link in the description. Southern Aero Supplies is an aviation supply business for everything from general aviation to gliders, tow-out gear, vertigo covers, you name it, we do it. I've got a fantastic business partner who's been in the industry for years and years and years. Southern Aero Supplies is not his primary business, but he really is worth his weight in gold when it comes to expertise and running the business, etc. So off the back of that, I sat there and said, I should probably do something sensible. I should sell my glider. So I decided to put the LaBelle up for sale so that I could have some money in the bank for a little while, just to ensure that the business got on its feet. So I went ahead and I sold the LaBelle. I had the money in my account, and within 12 hours I bought a share in this LS8. Got a awesome syndicate partner in this glider, a guy called Ollie. Some of you may know him, quite a lot of you won't. But ultimately it's just unlocked the next level of gliding for me. I was getting a little bit bored of having nobody to fly with. The performance difference between even a LaBelle and an ASW20 is significant enough that it means you get left behind. But ultimately what this LS8 unlocks for me is adventure flying. I love adventure flying, and I'm lucky, love it or hate it, this box houses an engine, and that unlocks fun. So for example, if you watch one of the previous videos where we went flying over in Snowdonia, the engine was very, very helpful, because it meant that I could just take a simple aerotow and then turbo the rest of the way. Furthermore, what it unlocks is the idea of some flying that I'm going to be doing hopefully in the future. Out in the mountains. I'd like to take the LS8 out to the Alps and flying over there. Sure, the engine's not overly helpful over there, but to be able to have a glider like the LS8 over there would just be fantastic. It really is leaps and bounds above what I'm used to. So I guess this brings us on to the biggest point. What's the point of the whole video? Well, even in the dark times, anxiety, losing my dad, everything, I've always loved creating content. It's just been fun. I'm not saying I'm any good at it, I'm not saying you enjoy it, but I plan to really pick this channel up. Not only this, Southern Aero Supplies, my business, we've just launched on YouTube as well. So there'll be lots of exciting content coming over there. I've got a million creative ideas. If they pull off, I really think they'll be fantastic. As far as this channel goes, the idea is to go and do some more wave flying, some more mountain flying, or some mountain flying. Take the glider abroad, go and do some factory tours. The possibilities are endless. Oh. And as much as this channel is an outlet for me to share what I do, it's actually for you guys as well. If you have video ideas, I'd love to hear them. If you want to collaborate on videos, I'd love to do that. Stefan Langer, I'm looking at you. One thing I would love to do in the future is just get a whole group of content creators together for a week of flying, just film it out in the Alps, maybe the Pyrenees or somewhere. Just need to make it happen. ultimately, all of these things are expensive. If you own a mountain site in the Alps and you want to help with this project, then that would be fantastic. So ultimately, although it's down to me to make these videos, I can't do it without the feedback from you guys. I want to hear what you want in the comments below. Really, really important is if you like the content, subscribe to the channel, like the videos. It goes a long way when it comes to us approaching sponsors for various different projects. And actually, if all goes well, hopefully we can get you guys involved in the projects as well. I'm also hoping that in the future we can upgrade the kit that we're using. Currently this is being shot on the Insta360 X4 with a built-in mic, but it would be great to be able to upgrade to a DSLR, shotgun mics, body mics, but that requires the channel to grow so that we can make more videos and get more clips like this.